Well, good afternoon, and welcome to the hottest ticket in town. I tell you what, from what I understand, some folks purchased tickets on StubHub and eBay and a little bit of everything to be here this afternoon. But as Naja and Tejal indicated, they were not scheduled to be our MCs, but let's give them a big hand for stepping in and doing a great job. We appreciate you, ladies. As they indicated, I'm Millard House Superintendent, and welcome to the 2023 HISD State of the Schools. I'm excited to be delivering my second State of the Schools address, and I want to thank the many students, educators, community leaders, elected officials, and most importantly, the prominent HISD alumni who have chose to come in and join us at this event. As we take the time to honor the individuals who helped to really shape our district's storied past, I want to personally recognize our HISD Impact honorees and thank them not just for being here with us today, but to also their students and being who they are and being the individuals that we know they need to be. You represent HISD extremely well, and you're an example of what it is to be possible to make things happen so that our students will have that example to see. Now, I also want to recognize our campus-based honorees as well, who have joined us here today. To be recognized by your school community is a testament of the true impact. So we thank you for being a pillar of one of your communities and shining example of what it is to be an HISD student as well. Now, before I go any further, I'd like to just say a quick hello to our HISD Board of Trustees and have them to stand at this time to be recognized for their work on behalf of HISD students and families. Thank you, Board. I will also and there are several, I've seen several that have come in, many elected officials with us today. Please stand at this time if you're an elected official to be recognized also. Thank you all for all that you do. I know we have plenty of faith and community leaders joining us today as well, so thank you all for your tireless work and commitment to our children. And then lastly, when I came here 19 months ago, I brought along different people from across the country to do this work with me. So if at this time, my cabinet, if you all would stand, you all are kind of the unsung heroes that people don't get to know and get to see. So thank you for all you do on a daily basis, HISD cabinet. Now, today's event really centers around two key themes. Number one, honoring the past 100 years of history as an organization and looking forward to the work ahead to build a district the community can be proud of really over the course of the next 100 years. Now, all of us in this room today stand on the shoulders of those who came before us, giants of the past like Dr. Ruth Simmons, Gordon Kwan, Ed Emmett, and the Fraga family. Let's give them another big hand. These individuals have truly paved the way, not just for HISD as an organization, but also the 190,000 students as well that we have in the school district. They are living examples of the power of public education and what is possible in this school district. They are a true testament to the fact that if given the right opportunity and educational supports, there is nothing that our students cannot achieve. They embody the promise of HISD and its communities and serve as a guiding light for what this district can accomplish over the next 100 years. Now, among our campus-nominated honorees is Devontae Lakeith Jones, a 2022 graduate of Heights High School who was known as an active slam poet, active student, and he led on his campus with his heart, all while battling lupus. Devontae had plans to mentor other young people through poetry after graduating, but unfortunately, we lost Devontae, and he passed away just 2 short months after earning his diploma from the Heights High School. Now, his mother, Sahara, is she here? Will you stand at this time? Miss Radford, where is she? There she is, right there. Thank you for being here, Soraya Radford, with us today and accepting this award on your son's behalf. He is a living legacy, and you trained him well. Thank you so much. Now, as we come together today, we must commit ourselves to honoring the legacy built before us, and the way to do that is really continuing the work of giving each other, the students, and giving back to our students the educational opportunities that they deserve so that they can have the kind of impact today's honorees have had in our community as well. Now, I started my journey in HISD as superintendent 19 months ago. And I think if you equate that to dog years, that's about 36 years as superintendent in HISD. Now, months have gone by, and so much about this district we've learned, whereas it's been a heck of a ride. But we know that there are needs, and in order to spend the kind of time that we need our community to truly continue to step forward. Now, I spend my Wednesdays visiting campuses to witness the work that's being done in our classrooms. Now, it is during those visits that I've seen up close and personal the work that this community can do. Despite the most monumental of challenges, Houston knows adversity, but it is also a city and a community of triumph. Now, over the course of these past 19 months, my team has been laser focused on making important choices that will give each one of our students a shot at a successful life and position that the Houston Independent School District takes pride in moving forward with. It's an asset, and I think it's incredibly important that we shoot for the stars for our students for these next 100 years. Now, in those 19 months that I've been here, our team has been executing a 5-year strategic plan that was shaped and guided by community input. The strategic plan was bold for what the district can and should be focused on. Be for our students, families, is what it's truly about. It's truly our foundation, and it's built on 6 commitments that speak to the values of our community. And it calls for these 6 things. Number 1, the building of trust and reliability with our families and community. Providing equitable opportunities and resources at every school so that the district meets the needs of every child all the time. Ensuring that every neighborhood has access to quality academic programming, high quality teaching, learning in every HISD classroom. On top of that, delivering effective services and supports to students with exceptional needs. And finally, cultivating world-class talent at all levels. Now, these 6 commitments aligned to the district goals have served as a guiding light over the course of the last 19 months. And now, I'm extremely excited about continuing to be able to guide this work for the future. These 6 commitments have delivered for our students, families, and community, and I'm proud of the work that we focused on. 19 short months ago, 50 of our campuses were rated D or F. Now today, thanks to the tireless work of incredible teachers, administrators, staff, only 10 campuses of those originally 50 campuses remain on that D and F list. "19 months ago, HISD ranked last or near last in every category of teacher compensation, evidenced by the alarming turnover rates and low employee morale. Today, HISD's teachers are among the most well compensated in the region due to an 11% raise that the administration recommended to the Board of Education and the board supported. The district also saw 95% of its vacancies filled at the beginning of this school year, and that is one of the highest retention rates that we've seen in recent history, something to be celebrated. Now, 19 months ago, an HISD student could go their entire educational journey without having access to a librarian, a nurse, a counselor on their campus. But today, every HISD student has access to all three of those. 19 short months ago, HISD was facing a persistent structural deficit in excess of $200 million annually. As we stand here today, we've taken $60 million out of that deficit and are proposing similar reductions for the upcoming school year and fiscal year as well. 19 short months ago, most of our students did not have access to challenging, high-quality curriculum. Now, in the upcoming school year, all of our students will have that kind of important access. 19 short months ago, many thought that this district could not overcome some of the trials and tribulations of the past. But today I stand here as the superintendent of HISD to say, we are not just overcoming those challenges, but together we are building a school district that is delivering on its promises again. Now, because of the tireless commitment of our students, staff, administration, support personnel, and so many others, I'm extremely excited to simply say that as of today, the state of our schools is strong. Now, while we are proud of the road that we've traveled thus far, there's still much work to do and much work to focus on. We also know that uncertainty looms as it relates to potential intervention from TEA. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know what the future will bring, but here's what I do know. Together, we have proven that public education can be transformative. Given the right supports, students are more capable of making the academic gains that we know that they deserve to make. Together, we have shown our communities that HISD can be a reliable partner that really walks alongside families and their students' educational journeys. Together, we have proven that this organization can make the important choices that will set it up for the sustainability for the future that we know is extremely important. Together, we have proven that public education truly works and that it can be the vehicle by which our students can build their future for themselves and their families. What I also know is that parents send their children into our classrooms every day with the hope of welcoming them back into an environment as students that are brighter and a little better because they spent time with us in HISD classrooms. We are the holders of hope and the keepers of promise. Now, during last year's address, I closed by asking each of you to be a part of the journey over the next year. Now, this year, I'll close by going a step further. Our students need you. They need all of you to be a critical partner over the road ahead for this school district. The giants of the past laid a foundation that we know. But it's going to be very important that we understand that we build on and believe that we have honored that legacy with the work that we've done over the course of the last 19 months. Now, as we look towards the next 100 years, it's going to require all of us in this room to stand in the work and deliver on the promises that we've made to our students, our families, and communities. Being the superintendent of the Houston Independent School District has been one of the highest professional honors of my career, and I can't wait to see what the next 100 years hold for this organization. Thank you all for your support, and thank you for the support and continued focus on our students in HISD. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent House. We are thrilled to continue the conversation about public education during our fireside chat with Mr. House, HISD Foundation Executive Director Catherine Smith, and Dr. Ruth Lopez-Turley. Professor Ruth Lopez-Turley is Director of the Kinder Institute for Urban Research at Rice University and founder of the Houston Education Research Consortium, which has partnered with HISD since 2011. In 2022, President Biden appointed her to the National Board for Education Sciences. She is also an HISD parent. Today, we'll be discussing the current state of education in the greater Houston area, as well as the challenges and opportunities facing our education system. We'll explore topics such as equity, inclusion, and innovation in education, and hear from Superintendent House and Dr. Turley about their experience and insight. Please help me welcome our panel.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for those encouraging words. So I have to say, when you first got here 19 months ago, I was very impressed by three things in particular. The first is the fact that you came being fully aware of a potential takeover. I think that was a bold statement about who you are. Yes. And what is happening now, that you are still laser focused, as you said, on our students. So I want to talk a little bit more about that, as well as two other things that really impressed me when you first got here. The second thing is that you immediately started working on developing a strategic plan, which the district had not had in years. And the last thing I'll say, of course, as a researcher, is that you invited local researchers to help inform that plan. So I want to talk about those things. The first thing, in terms of your strategic plan, I love that it focuses on equity and building trust. Can you say a little bit more about some of the concrete things that you have been doing that you think have the most promise in continuing to improve equity and continuing to build trust, especially now, given the things that are happening and the challenges that are underway? How do you encourage us, especially because this is a huge responsibility that you have, but it's our responsibility too. I want to make that clear. It's our responsibility. What do you need from us to help in those things, in improving equity and building trust as part of this strategic plan?
Sure. First of all, Ruth, I don't know what challenges you're talking about. When I came to Houston, one of the things that I knew about myself is that I was an individual that liked to be a part of change agents, organizations that needed the kind of support to bring in individuals, to bring in the supports to make a major change. That was here in Houston. We knew that there were challenges here, but I feel like my experience over the last 27 years prepared me to equip myself with a great team, first of all. But I think in order to really move forward, and you talked a little bit about the strategic plan, but in order to truly get a strategic plan that is meaningful and exemplary of what this community needs, you have to go to the community and hear from the community. So we had probably 15, 16 different listen and learns where we went to the community, had over 700 participants, over 6,000 or 7,000 survey data, several hundreds of employees that participated as well. Those things truly helped to shape what our strategic plan looked like. When I got here as well, I had the opportunity to really get out into the business community to understand what it was that they needed. And they told me that they needed students that could be focused on what it is to be a part of a team. They needed students that could work and critically think around what it was to be a part of those organizations. So all of those things helped us come together to build this strategic plan. And we're committed to continuing the work, if given the opportunity, and get this job done. The ship is truly moving, and we're excited to provide some data to our board just yesterday that really spoke to exactly how that ship is moving and some of the strategies that we focused on over the course of the last 19 months that have allowed it to move.
That's great. And Catherine, what is the HISD Foundation doing to support these efforts around equity and around building trust in our community?
Well, I'll start with equity because I think that's a real overlap in terms of our board's vision and the superintendent's vision. We've started several programs that focus on equity, and I have to give a shout out to Harris County Department of Education Foundation for kicking us off with our PTO equity grants. One of the things that we know is that when it comes to equity in terms of parent support, it's one thing to put a PTO together. It's quite another thing for them to have resources so that they can then go and support their schools. So we started by providing anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 for PTOs to start their PTOs and kick them back up and back into high gear. Also, our innovation/ideation fund. One of the things that we think about a lot in terms of equity is not just within our own district, what might be perceived as schools that have and schools that have not, but how is the Houston ISD in comparison to other large school districts in the area? So if you look at, my daughter attends Lanier Middle School, for instance. If you look at Lanier, you might think, oh, this is an affluent school. But if you look at it compared to the most affluent schools in Katy or the Woodlands, it's not. And so we really need to be there to support teachers and support their great ideas throughout the district, but especially where there are equity challenges. And I know that there's a lot of great stuff coming out of your report from the Kinder Institute to give us even more guidance about where we can support.
Well, thank you for mentioning that report because I have to say that's the other thing that I found extremely impressive, that HISD actually came to us, our research team, and asked that question. How equitable or inequitable are we? To what extent? And can we document it for the purpose of gauging progress? That is huge. I can't stress that enough, especially as a researcher. Honestly, that's a bold and potentially dangerous question for any school district to ask, because they are potentially exposing their weaknesses, their greatest challenges. But HISD was willing to ask such a question for the purpose of getting better. And I really wish more school districts would do that. The only way we can get better is to know, to document, and so I really appreciated that. But I wanted to turn to the issue that I mentioned earlier about the fact that you came to be superintendent of this amazing, huge school district, knowing full well that there was a potential state takeover. Why did you do that?
My wife says I'm crazy, is what she
Probably
indicated.
right.
But for me, I've always, going back 27 years, gotten joy out of building teams, building an organization that is proud of what it can do for a city. And what I know is that there were bones in HISD that really spoke to greatness. And those bones are starting to surface. those bones are starting to strengthen. Those bones are starting to get the necessary calcium to really move forward. And so we're excited about what we've done. I think you mentioned something that's extremely important as well, Ruth, and that's the idea of having ourselves immersed in the kind of research that can help us move forward. We appreciate your support and HERC in helping us come in. Last night we presented our equity work that was done at HERC to our board, and it's a catalyst for what we know is going to be important moving forward. Now, one of the things that we know about equity is we look at this room. If I were to put somebody in the back of the room and had someone in the front of the room and let them know that they're going to race to the stage, who's going to get there first? The person that's in the front of the room. And when we think about equity, it's important to understand equity from that very, very dense lens. And that's what we know about children as well. Many of our children, like mine that sit at home, have a head start. They have incredible summers where they're immersed in the kinds of things that make a difference. They go to incredible summer schools and have summer camp. But many of our students don't have those kinds of opportunities. So when we think about equity, it's important for our community to really understand what that definition means and how it relates to our students. And that's what HERC has done, but has been micro-specific about exactly what areas we can improve upon the work. And so we're excited around building our budget for the next fiscal year around many of these things that are extremely important to ensure that we have the most equitable organization, and we're utilizing our finances and resources in an equitable manner as well.
Now, as HISD celebrates, yes, thank you for saying that. As HISD celebrates its centennial, and we reflect on the past, the many, many challenges that HISD has overcome over the last 100 years. But over the next 100 years, what would be your message to us, to the community, about what we should be doing? As I said earlier, this is not just your responsibility as a superintendent, it's also our responsibility as a community to make sure that all our students have all the resources that they need to thrive. What is your message to us? And to me, I'm also an HISD parent, so I include myself there. What is your message to us?
So, I think about a quote that Gandhi is probably most known for, and that's being the change that we truly wish to see. If we're an organization of business and we know that we have engineers that really have gaps that need to be filled in terms of those particular positions, it's important to allow for space in your organization for students to come in and do internships, externships. They have to be exposed and immersed into exactly what it is that you want them to be. So I would ask, especially our business community, to open your doors. Of course, the mayor has opportunities for our students to be hired. And it's going to be extremely important that in order to build those skills, they have to be immersed into what it is that you expect from them. So my expectation over the course of the next 100 years is to see thousands of students immersed in these different opportunities, thousands of students seeing what the end should look like for them, thousands of opportunities for students to truly know what it is to be a professional in the workforce at an early age. So my expectation in this community is for us to step up in a different way in order for our communities and our students to truly see the end and understand what their companies can truly do at its best. We have to invite our students in to be a part of what the future has to look like.
That's right. And if I may add, just to, if it's possible to add to your comment, that we need the support not only of our community, but also of our state.
Absolutely.
And especially at a moment like right now, we need our state support.
Amen.
So I'll turn things over to you, Catherine.
Did you have a
No, to wrap up the
to wrap
chat,
up,
yeah.
okay. Well, I want to thank everyone for taking the time to be here today. We do have some raffle ticket winners that we would like to announce. But mostly, we just want you to know that we want you to see the Houston ISD Foundation as a stabilizing force and a primary philanthropic partner for the district, and that you, by being here today and participating and donating, supporting us with flexible funding, you're playing a role in making sure students have what they need through what can be really challenging and disruptive times. And so I thank you all so much for being here. I'm going to draw, I believe somebody's going to come up and help me draw the raffle ticket winners, and then we're going to close out with the Crespo Elementary students. So this is for 4 tickets to see Kenny Chesney at the rodeo. We have A. Goodrow. If you're here, wave your hand, come up. And if you're not here, then you're not eligible to win. So, all right, we're going to move on. Yeah, draw another one. All right, A. Goodrow going once, going twice. Okay, Rebecca Hines for Kenny Chesney tickets. Oh, great. Okay, this was not rigged, but this is a foundation board member who's won our Stock Your Bar, Lawson Massey. All right, it pays to be an alumnus. United Airlines first class tickets for 2 are Gordon Kwan. And now HISD trustee Myrna Guidry, winning 1 weekend night stay plus dinner for 2 here at Hilton Americas. Okay, for the Rockets and Texans tickets, I believe this is Alvinus Franklin. All right, his and hers Tootsie's handbag, a $100 gift card, and a Yeti cooler. Tyam Simmons. All right, our final performance will be it's our last student performance, Crespo Elementary Fine Arts Elementary School. They will be performing a piece from Matilda the musical. Thank you so much for being here today. Please give them your attention, and then we'll see you out front.